The colossal doors of the Galactic Council chamber slid open with a low, resonant hum that reverberated across the immense space. Jake Collins advanced with measured steps, his black diplomatic uniform standing out sharply against the pristine, white floor. Surrounding him, delegates from 43 distinct species observed from their elevated platforms, their myriad forms forming an unusual tapestry of shapes and colors along the curved walls of the venerable chamber. At the room's center, high above, Commander Vexar of the Zetherian Empire awaited. The alien was immense, nearly 3 meters tall, with deep purple skin that shimmered subtly under the bright illumination. 4 muscular arms extended from his broad shoulders, each terminating in clawed hands capable of crushing a human skull effortlessly. His massive head bore a crown of bone ridges, denoting his high rank, and his 6 glowing eyes radiated a barely restrained ferocity. Jake halted precisely 10 meters from the Zeperian commander, as protocol dictated. The human ambassador was dwarfed in comparison, barely reaching the alien's chest, yet he stood erect, hands clasped behind him. His brown eyes met Vexar's fiery gaze without hesitation, a faint smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. Silence filled the chamber, broken only by the subtle breathing of countless species. In the observation galleries above, reporters from across the galaxy readied their recording devices. Everyone understood that this moment would echo through history, even if few grasped why. Vexar's voice thundered through the chamber as he spoke. Translation devices transmitted his words into dozens of languages simultaneously. "Human ambassador," he began, his tone laden with absolute authority. "The Zetherian Empire has exhausted its patience with your kind." Jake inclined his head slowly, expression unwavering. "Please continue, High Commander." The enormous alien stepped forward, his clawed feet clicking against the floor. "For the past 50 standard years, humanity has expanded into regions that rightfully belong to the Empire. Your colonies have spread like a contagion across worlds reserved for our dominion. Your merchants compete with our trade networks, undercutting prices and destabilizing markets that have endured for centuries." A ripple of murmurs passed among the delegates. The Kaldari representatives shifted uneasily, their feathered crests flattening in discomfort. The crystalline Nexari remained still, yet their internal lights flickered rapidly, betraying their tension. Vexar's voice grew sharper with every syllable. "Your warships patrol lanes long under Zetherian control, predating even the earliest sparks of your civilization. Your diplomats demand equal say in councils where you possess no right to speak. Your very existence within this galaxy has become an affront to the natural order." Jake listened impassively, hands still folded behind him. Occasionally, he would nod, as if the alien were merely describing mundane affairs rather than reciting a litany that could annihilate humanity. The commander's 6 eyes blazed more intensely as he reached his crescendo. "The Zetherian Empire governs 60% of all inhabited systems in this galaxy. Our fleets number in the thousands. Our weapons can reduce entire planets to molten glass. We have never suffered defeat, Ambassador Collins, because we have never faced an adversary foolish enough to truly oppose us." A profound silence followed. Even the usual hum of the chamber's systems seemed to vanish. Delegates from across the galaxy held their breath, awaiting words everyone expected. Vexar raised all 4 arms, a gesture signifying final judgment among his people. "The Zetherian Empire now demands the immediate and total surrender of all human military forces. Every human colony outside your home system must be evacuated within 72 standard hours. All human vessels in space must report to the nearest Zeperian facility for inspection and likely confiscation. Your species will accept protectorate status under the Empire, with all limitations and obligations such a status entails." The alien commander paused, letting his words sink in before delivering the ultimate threat. "Refuse these terms, and the Zetherian Empire will deem humanity in open rebellion. The punishment for rebellion, as every species in this galaxy understands, is total annihilation. We will not merely crush your military forces, Ambassador Collins. We will erase every human being from existence, down to the last child hiding on the most distant asteroid. Your species will exist only as a cautionary tale, told to other civilizations daring to defy the natural order. Jake Collins remained, perfectly still for a long moment, his brown eyes locked on the alien's face. Around the chamber, delegates leaned forward in their seats, straining to catch every word of humanity's response. Some species had already begun drafting condolences for the human race, while others calculated how quickly they could sever any ties with Earth. Finally, Jake smiled. It was neither the anxious expression of a diplomat buying time, nor the desperate grin of one facing impossible odds. It was the quiet, assured smile of someone who knew something that everyone else in the room did not. "Hi, Commander Vexar," Jake said, his voice carrying clearly through the immense chamber despite its casual tone. "I have listened carefully to your demands and threats. I understand that you believe the Zaharian Empire to be invincible. I understand that you have never lost a war. I understand that you command fleets numbering in the thousands, with weapons capable of destroying entire worlds." The human ambassador stepped forward slightly, closing the distance between himself and the towering alien to 9 meters. The movement was subtle, but all in the chamber noticed it. Protocol dictated that ambassadors maintain precisely 10 meters of separation during formal declarations. By moving closer, Jake indicated the formal portion of the proceedings was over. Yet he continued, his smile widening just a fraction. "I believe there has been a fundamental misunderstanding about the nature of this situation. You seem to assume humanity fears extinction. You appear to think the threat of total war will compel us to surrender our freedom and submit to your empire." Vexar's 6 eyes narrowed, his 4 hands slowly curling into fists. Something in the human's tone defied expectation. Where fear should have resided, there was only calm certainty. Where desperation should have appeared, there was something bordering on anticipation. Jake's next words fell into the silence, like stones dropped into still water, creating ripples destined to spread across the galaxy and alter the course of history forever. "You want war, High Commander? Then prepare to be obliterated." Chaos erupted in the chamber as delegates shouted questions and demands for clarification. But Jake Collins merely turned and walked toward the exit, his steady footsteps echoing through the vast hall as clearly as his words had. Behind him, High Commander Vexar remained frozen in shock, his massive frame quivering with rage at the audacious response. Humanity had just declared war on the galaxy's mightiest empire, and the human ambassador was smiling. Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge of the EDS Guardian, gazing at the stars through the massive viewing screen dominating the command center's front wall. Her fingers drummed against the metal railing as she awaited communication from Earth Command. Around her, dozens of crew members worked at their stations, tense yet focused. Everyone understood that the next hours would determine whether humanity survived or became yet another extinct species in the galaxy's long history. The communication panel beside her chair buzzed with an incoming signal. Transmission. Lisa pressed the activation button and immediately heard the familiar voice of Admiral Ben Carter. His weathered face appeared on the screen, showing stress lines that had deepened noticeably over the past 24 hours. "Captain Morgan," the Admiral said without introduction, "I assume you received the report from the Galactic Council meeting." Lisa nodded grimly. "Ambassador Collins certainly didn't leave much room for negotiation. The crew is asking questions about our odds against the Zaharian fleet." Admiral Carter's expression remained composed, but Lisa glimpsed something unexpected in his eyes. It was not fear or resignation as she had anticipated. Instead, there was an emotion that resembled satisfaction. Tell your crew to prepare for combat operations, the Admiral instructed. But also tell them humanity didn't declare war on the Zephyrian Empire without good reason. We have advantages our enemies have yet to recognize. The transmission ended, leaving Lisa staring at the blank screen in growing confusion. She had served in the Earth Defense Fleet for 15 years, advancing during the peaceful expansion period when humanity's greatest challenge was negotiating mining rights with alien corporations. The human fleet totaled 47 ships. Intelligence suggested the Zephyrans commanded over 3,000 vessels, making the situation mathematically daunting. 3 decks below the bridge, Chief Engineer Ryan Kelly worked frantically in restricted access areas of the ship. His hands flew over control panels few crew had seen, activating systems installed in secret over the past 10 years. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he checked readings and adjusted settings, preparing equipment that could either save humanity or reveal the species' final desperate gamble. Ryan was among the few outside the highest command levels who knew about Project Prometheus. While the rest of humanity believed their military was modest and defensive, a select group of engineers and scientists had been preparing for this moment since first contact with alien civilizations. The project's true scale was something even Ryan, despite his clearance, could only guess at from Luna. Dr. Helen Ross analyzed the latest intelligence from Zephyrian space. Her screens displayed fleet movements, troop deployments, and strategic assessments illustrating the enemy's overwhelming superiority. By conventional measures, humanity faced annihilation. The Zephyrian Empire had conquered 43 species over the past millennium, each time with minimal losses and maximum efficiency. Yet Dr. Ross was examining unconventional measures, comparing Zaharian doctrine with strategies no alien species had ever faced. On a separate screen, she reviewed top-secret files detailing humanity's true nature and capabilities. As she read, her expression shifted from concern to grim determination. The documents contained information that would shock the Galactic Council if accessible. While other species evolved on worlds requiring cooperation, humanity emerged from a planet demanding constant warfare. Earth was classified as a death world, where evolution had produced predators so lethal they turned on each other. Dr. Paul Jiang, head of the Terra Research Institute, reviewed similar files in his secure lab. The documents chronicled human military development over millennia. While others achieved spaceflight peacefully, humanity reached the stars through technologies originally intended to kill fellow humans efficiently. Jiang paused at reports detailing human conflict, over 14,000 documented wars, weapons capable of destroying their planet multiple times, and strategies accepting massive casualties for victory. No other species had experienced anything comparable. The remarkable fact, Jiang realized, was that humans achieved this while opposing biologically and technologically equal enemies. Every human war tested tactical innovation, strategic thinking, and sheer survival determination. These skills were now poised against aliens who had never encountered truly determined opposition. Commander Nick Foster received his orders while stationed at the Titan mining facility, one of humanity's outermost colonies. The brief encoded message was clear. His small garrison of 12 soldiers was to prepare for imminent Zephyrian scouts and demonstrate capabilities sending a specific message to the alien command. Foster gathered his troops in the main hangar, facing members aged from barely 20 to veterans nearing retirement. None fully understood the forthcoming events, but all were trained in human military doctrine. Foster knew alien forces would find it incomprehensible. Where Zetharians fight until ordered to retreat, humans fight until death. Alien strategy preserves resources and limits losses. Human strategy treats casualties as necessary for victory. Other species see war as an unfortunate necessity. Humans elevate conflict to an art requiring constant refinement. The comm system crackled to life, signaling Zaharian scouts detected at the solar system's edge. Foster checked his weapon, observing. The calm determination etched on his soldiers' faces, the same resolve that had defined human warriors throughout history. Outnumbered, outgunned, facing superior technology, most species would surrender or panic. Foster smiled, recalling his instructor's favorite saying, "Humans don't fight fair," the old sergeant had told them. "We fight to win, no matter the cost." The first test of human capability was about to begin, and the galaxy was about to understand why Earth's children had prepared for this war since they first gazed at the stars. The Zeparian First Fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system with the precision that had made them legendary across the galaxy. 3,000 warships appeared in flawless formation, their dark hulls gleaming with energy shields capable of deflecting most known weaponry. High Commander Vexar stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Destroyer of Worlds, watching tactical displays that showed the seemingly pathetic human resistance awaiting them. Captain Lisa Morgan received the enemy detection alert, while her ship patrolled near Mars' orbit. The sensor readings made her stomach tighten, not for what they revealed, but for what would follow. 47 human ships faced an armada stretching across millions of kilometers of space. To any observer, it seemed the final moments before humanity's extinction. Lisa activated the fleet communication system and spoke calmly to every human vessel in the solar system. "All ships, this is Guardian Actual. Execute Protocol 7 immediately. Repeat, Protocol 7 is now active." Across the human fleet, captains trained for this moment their entire careers began what seemed a desperate retreat. Move toward the asteroid belt. The Guardian and her sister ships fired engines, accelerating away from the approaching Zephian armada, weapons powering down as if ready to surrender. "Hi, Commander!" Vexar observed the human response with satisfaction. The tactical display showed exactly what he expected. A small, frightened fleet fleeing toward the inner system, seeking cover among the asteroids. His 6 eyes glowed as he anticipated the easy victory that would cement his reputation across the Empire. "Pursue them," Vexar commanded fleet commanders. "Maintain formation discipline. Let them reach the asteroid field. Let them think. Safety is near before we show the futility of resistance." Lieutenant Sam Parker coordinated what appeared to be a panicked evacuation from Earth's orbital stations. Transport ships carrying families and workers fled toward the outer planets, their transponders sending emergency signals pleading for mercy. To Zephyrian sensors, it looked like civilians abandoning their home world. But Sam knew the truth. Every transport moved to pre-calculated coordinates, every family actually crew taking position at hidden installations throughout the solar system. What seemed like panic was the most intricate military deployment in galactic history. The asteroid belt toward which the human fleet retreated had been humanity's greatest construction project over 20 years. Alien observers saw only rocks and mining equipment. The reality was far different. Engineer Ryan Kelly supervised the installation of weapon systems inside thousands of asteroids, transforming space debris into hidden fortresses. The Zephyrian fleet pursued the retreating humans deeper into the solar system. Ryan activated the first phase of humanity's true defense network. Apparent abandoned mining stations came online, communication arrays extending, power cores reaching full output. These were no primitive facilities as the aliens expected. Dr. Paul Jang watched from Luna as the enemy fleet entered the killing zone. Project Prometheus had required decades to complete, involving every human colony and millions of workers unaware of the true mission. Every asteroid was hollowed and armed, every piece of debris fitted with guidance systems, every abandoned satellite converted into a missile platform. The Zephyrian fleet was now encircled by 10,000 hidden weapons, yet their sensors showed only empty space and floating rocks. Human stealth technology, refined through centuries of conflict against capable opponents, rendered the defense network invisible until activation. Commander Nick Foster led Wolfpack 7 through the asteroid field, his fighters weaving between massive enemy ships with maneuvers defying conventional tactics. Zaharian pilots flew rigid formations designed for maximum firepower. Human pilots moved like pack hunters, coordinating attacks through instinct and experience rather than set patterns. Foster's squadron displayed the core difference between human and alien military thinking. Zaharians sought to overwhelm through force. Humans sought to outthink through tactics. Numbers made no sense. According to everything the Empire knew about warfare, no species fought harder when losing. No soldiers became more effective as their situation grew desperate. Ryan Kelly smiled as he activated the second phase of humanity's defense network. The asteroid surrounding the Zephyrin fleet suddenly ignited with energy signatures as hidden weapon systems came online. Plasma cannons emerged from concealed positions inside what had seemed solid rock. Missile launchers revealed themselves as ordinary-looking communication devices transformed into guidance systems for weapons that had floated in space for years. The alien fleet found itself trapped inside a fortress built around them while they believed they were pursuing fleeing prey. Every direction revealed new weapons, new threats, proof that humanity had prepared for this moment since first contact with galactic civilization. Captain Morgan's voice echoed across the human fleet as she gave the order that would shift the galaxy's balance forever. All units, this is Guardian Actual. The trap is sprung. Commence total warfare protocols. Show them what happens when you threaten Earth's children. The battle for humanity's survival began, and the Zephyrians were about to learn they had not invaded a weak species' territory. They had walked into the lair of the galaxy's apex predators. The first wave of human weapons tore through, the Zaharian fleet like lightning through darkness. Plasma cannons hidden inside asteroids for 20 years unleashed concentrated bursts that punched through alien shields as if they were paper. High Commander Vexar watched in mounting horror as his mighty warships exploded around him, hulls cracking open, spilling atmosphere and crew into space. Dr. Kate Adams activated psychological warfare protocols from her command center on Europa. Transmission systems she had built in secret began broadcasting across every frequency the Zephyrin fleet used. But instead of surrender demands or tactical information, the aliens received something far more disturbing. The first broadcast showed ancient human warriors at Thermopylae, where 300 soldiers held off hundreds of thousands. The Zephyrians watched as these primitive humans fought to the death rather than retreat, bronze weapons flashing in sunlight, killing enemy after enemy before finally falling themselves. Vexar tried to block the transmissions, but they came from multiple sources across the solar system. The next broadcast showed humans in the frozen city of Stalingrad, fighting house to house against better armed and superiorly numbered invaders. The aliens saw humans eating leather and bark to survive, using buildings as fortresses, and continuing to fight even as their city crumbled. Commander Foster led his fighters in a strike against the Zephyrin command ship, weaving through defensive fire with movements impossible to predict. Alien gunners could not target opponents who flew unlike any species they had faced. Human pilots rolled in 3 dimensions, used asteroid fragments as cover, and attacked from angles defying tactical logic. Foster's squadron demonstrated pack hunting techniques honed over millions of years of evolution. They separated targets from the main group, attacked from multiple directions, and coordinated strikes through subtle signals requiring no communication system. The Zephyrians had advanced tech, but had never faced opponents who thought and reacted as a unified group without speaking. The psychological broadcasts continued as Dr. Adams revealed more of humanity's military history. The aliens saw footage from World War II, where humans fought each other with city-leveling weapons. They witnessed the beaches of Normandy, thousands charging into near-certain death to secure enemy territory, and the Pacific Island campaigns, humans fighting for months over land smaller than their smallest ships. Captain Lisa Morgan's flagship, Guardian, took massive damage from a Zephyrin battlecruiser, but instead of retreating, she rammed the enemy vessel. Her final transmission broadcast across the fleet. For humanity, for Earth, for all who came after. The collision destroyed both ships in a burst of light visible from Mars, eliminating the Zephyrin fleet's primary command vessel. Alien formations began to lose coordination as secondary commanders struggled to take control, having never trained for an enemy willing to sacrifice their strongest ship to disrupt command. Admiral Ben Carter coordinated the defense from his, bunkered deep beneath Luna. Tactical displays showed the battle raging across the solar system, human weapons platforms emerging from hiding spots the aliens had never anticipated. Civilian transports revealed themselves as disguised missile carriers, communication satellites open to exposed torpedo launchers. Even solar power collectors orbiting near the sun became massive energy weapons focusing starlight into devastating beams. The Zephyrians began to understand they had not invaded a system defended by 47 ships. They had entered a fortress decades in construction, every piece of human infrastructure designed for war. Dr. Adams broadcast the final segment of human military history, showing Zephyrians something their species had never experienced. Nuclear weapons tests displayed humans creating devices capable of destroying their own planet, mushroom clouds rising above empty deserts while scientists recorded data. The broadcast explained that humans had spent centuries perfecting warfare against equally intelligent and capable opponents. Every Zephyrin strategy had been tested in human conflicts predating galactic civilization. Every tactic countered by enemies who understood human thinking better than any alien ever could. Lieutenant Sam Parker, now commanding the orbital defense grid after his captain's death, showcased human defensive warfare. Rather than preventing Zaharian Marines from landing, humans let them establish beachheads, then systematically cut supply lines, jam communications, and isolate units for destruction. Alien forces faced an enemy refusing open battle. Human defenders used asteroid tunnels prepared years in advance, striking quickly before vanishing. Every corridor became a death trap, every room a fortress. Zephyrin Marines trained for conventional combat against honorable opponents now faced guerrilla tactics perfected in 1,000 human conflicts. Humans booby-trapped bodies, poisoned water, and turned alien equipment against them, violating every principle of civilized warfare. High Commander Vexar realized that his mighty empire had made a fundamental miscalculation. They assumed all species approached warfare the same way, seeking rapid victory with minimal losses. But humans had evolved on a planet where survival required being deadlier than everything else that lived there, including other humans. The galaxy was about to learn that Earth's children had not only been preparing for war, they had been perfected by it. High Commander Vexar floated in the wreckage of his escape pod, observing the debris field that had once been the mighty Zaharian First Fleet. Fragments of warships drifted through space like tombstones, marking the graves of 3,000 vessels destroyed in less than 6 hours. His forearms trembled as he activated the emergency communication system, aware he was about to send the most humiliating message in his empire's history. The transmission reached Admiral Ben Carter's command center on Luna, where the human admiral listened to the alien surrender without displaying satisfaction or triumph. Carter had studied Zephyrin military doctrine for decades and knew their species had never experienced defeat on this scale. The psychological impact would echo through their empire for generations. Human Admiral Vexar's voice crackled through the damaged communication system. The Zaharian Empire formally surrenders all military operations in this system. We request terms for cessation of hostilities. Carter leaned back, eyes on tactical displays showing the complete destruction of the enemy fleet. Only a few hundred Zephyrians survived, most adrift in damaged escape pods with their commander. The human admiral had anticipated this moment, yet he still felt the weight of its implications for galactic civilization. President Carol Hayes received the surrender notification in the Oval Office of the rebuilt White House. Around her, advisors and military leaders awaited her decision on how humanity would respond to their first major galactic victory. The choice she made in the next minutes would determine whether Earth became a respected member of the galactic community or a feared predator uniting other species against it. The president activated the communication system to broadcast her words to every major civilization in the galaxy. News networks across dozens of species already reported humanity's impossible victory, and political leaders across known worlds scrambled to understand its implications for their own survival. Citizens of the galaxy, President Hayes began, her voice carrying the same calm authority Ambassador Jake Collins had shown in the Galactic Council chamber. The Zaharian Empire has surrendered after attacking human territory unprovoked. We accept their surrender, but the terms of peace must reflect the reality of what has transpired here. Dr. Paul Jang finalized the release of Project Prometheus, files to the galactic scientific community. The documents would reveal humanity's true military preparation, showing how Earth's children had been planning for galactic warfare since their first alien contact. Every diplomatic mission gathered intelligence. Every trade agreement provided strategic insight. Every human colony had been positioned for maximum military advantage. The revelation that humanity conducted the largest intelligence operation in galactic history would shock. Platforms emerged from their concealment to begin salvage operations on the destroyed Zephyrian fleet, and the true scale of humanity's preparation became visible for the first time as asteroid after asteroid revealed itself to be a disguised military installation. The aliens had been fighting not merely 47 ships, but an entire star system converted into a fortress. The Galactic News Network struggled to comprehend the magnitude of what they were witnessing. Species that had known humans for 50 years. As peaceful explorers and cautious traders were now learning that Earth's children had been preparing for total war throughout every moment of that contact. The psychological impact was staggering as civilizations realized they had never truly understood their human neighbors. Lieutenant Sam Parker, now promoted to captain for his performance during the battle, documented strategic lessons to be shared with human militaries across the colonies. The engagement proved human tactical doctrine superior to anything the galaxy had seen, but it also revealed capabilities that would need careful management to avoid provoking a coalition of alien species against Earth. President Hayes continued her address, explaining the new reality all civilizations would need to accept. Humanity did not seek this war, but we were prepared because we understand something the rest of the galaxy has forgotten. Peace is not the natural state of the universe. Peace must be earned through strength and maintained through vigilance. Her words were translated into hundreds of languages across dozens of worlds, yet their meaning was clear in every tongue. Humanity had revealed itself as the galaxy's apex predator, a species forged by constant warfare and now carrying those skills into the stars. Any civilization that threatened Earth would suffer the same fate as the Zephyrin First Fleet. Dr. Kate Adams analyzed communication intercepts captured during the battle. The psychological warfare broadcasts had achieved their intended effect, convincing the Zephyrian military they faced an opponent unlike anything previously encountered. The aliens had never seen a species fight harder when wounded, become more dangerous when cornered, or treat impossible odds as a mere tactical challenge. The intercepts also revealed that news of humanity's capabilities spread faster than official government communications. Military commanders from dozens of species revised their strategic assessments, while political leaders scrambled to understand how they had so completely misjudged Earth's children. Admiral Carter received reports from human colonies confirming the demonstration of power had achieved its diplomatic goal. Species considering expansion into human territory were now offering trade agreements and mutual defense pacts. Civilizations that had ignored human diplomacy were requesting immediate meetings with Earth's ambassadors. President Hayes concluded her address with words that would echo throughout galactic history. The Zephyrian Empire demanded our surrender and threatened extinction. They discovered that humanity has prepared for this war longer than most species have existed. We tried to warn them, but they chose not to listen. The president paused, letting her words reach every corner of the galaxy before delivering the final message that would cement humanity's position among the stars. Let this serve as a lesson to any civilization considering threatening Earth or her children. We do not seek war, but we excel at it. Any species testing our resolve will learn what the Zephyrians discovered today. When you challenge humanity, you do not face 47 ships. You face the descendants of a world that taught us to be the galaxy's deadliest predators. The transmission ended, leaving the galaxy to absorb a new reality. Humanity had claimed its place among the stars, not as explorers, but as the children of Earth, shaped by the lessons of their violent home-world. The age of human expansion was about to begin, and the galaxy would neigh.